All right, 17.5, guys. Here we go. Double thrust. Enter OG CrossFit. This is a quintessential CrossFit workout where you have to fight through physical pain, test your mental fortitude and pain threshold, while all along being able to have the acuity and body control to execute a high skill movement such as double unders. So the name of the game here is how much pain can you endure without losing your head, because you can't sprint through a double under. You gotta have finesse, okay? So 10 rounds as fast as possible. 9 thrusters at 95 and 65 pounds and 35 double unders. Math is easy, 90 thrusters and 35 double unders. What did I say?
You said 35. 350 double unders.
350. What did I say? What did I say?
You said 35.
Shit. This alright.
Doesn't matter.
We can just cut out the shit part. Yeah. Alright. The math is easy. Okay. We're gonna talk about proximity and specific movement patterns, and then we're gonna talk about briefly. We're gonna talk about prep work, skill prep, and we're actually gonna do strength session before this. Okay. So the most important thing for this workout is your squat position and your overhead position. For squat, there's a couple different ways to squat, but we want to make sure we're not bottoming out. We want to get into a further degree of dorsiflexion where you're barely below 90, but your hamstrings and your calves are touching each other at the bottom, giving you a little bit of a balance at the bottom of the squat. We recommend doing lifting shoes and knee sleeves as long as you're used to executing double unders with your lifting shoes. You should know right off the bat if that's something you can do. Regardless, you should wear knee sleeves, okay? Thrusters. So the main thing that you don't want to do here is not lock out or extend your wrist. So you want to make sure you're not extending your wrist and flexing your wrist over and over. That's going to tire out your forearms for the double unders, but you want to make sure you actually lock out, okay? No pseudo reps where you're fake punching it out and pulling it back down. You can pull it back down if you're used to going that fast and you're able to keep your heart rate low while doing that, but make sure you lock out and get that bar above the plane of your body in line with your shoulders, hips, and feet. Eric's going to talk about the prep work, but first we're going to talk about the strength real quick. And Eric's going to put this in the class workout as well, because it's really going to prime everyone up for feeling like the thrusters are very light, okay? Every 2 minutes for 12 minutes. So 6 sets, 3 sets of front squats, 3 sets of push press, okay? So at minutes 0, 2, and 4, you're gonna do 4 fast front squats at 70% and 4 very low box jumps at 12 inches, okay? Like I said, 70% or a medium heavy weight. Then on the last 3 intervals of 2 minutes, you're gonna do 3 push press at 60 to 65%, and then 4 box jumps at 24 and 20 inches to get your jumping muscles warmed up.
All right, so we're gonna go over the prep work as far as how to make sure your body's all in the best shape it can be to execute the workout. And you'll notice all the things that we're gonna focus on are gonna relate to the positions that Chip is kind of running through. So you are gonna mash your hip flexors, your lats, your calves, and your quads. So hip flexors are pretty simple, right? We're gonna be doing a lot of squatting below parallel. We wanna make sure that our hips are nice and opened up so that we can get a good position there and not have to pull against that tight muscle group could affect our pelvic position, which is going to overtax the back. Then you've got lats. So obviously getting that lockout, it's gonna be a lot more difficult if you get tight around here. So for me personally, as I raise my arms, I can start feeling tightness just about here. I haven't warmed up, I haven't done anything. If I warm all this up, I can get myself to a full lockout without having to press through that tightness. So I want to make sure that I'm not having to lift more than 95 pounds by actually having tight muscle that I've got to work through. Then calves. We're going to be doing a lot of jumping, a lot of double unders. If your calves are already tight, you're putting yourself at risk for messing them up for a much longer period of time and basically ruling out any chance you have of repeating this workout. And then quads. Again, it has to do with the squat. If you got tight quads, you're going to feel this in your knees a little bit. So we want to make sure we mash those. As far as mobilizing, we want to make sure we have a nice open upper thoracic. That's going to help in our front squat position. Ankles, it goes back to that dorsiflexion position we were talking about in the squat. It's obviously going to be much more difficult to push your knees forward and squat in that position if your ankles are tight. Wrists, again, goes back with this position and the front rack position. We want to make sure all this is nice and mobilized so that we can have a good front rack. And then anything basic concerning the overhead position, you want this to feel as loose and open as possible. The last thing you're gonna do is you're gonna start activating some things. So glutes, glute bridges, hip extensions, anything that's gonna fire up your glutes and help you come out of the bottom of the squat more easily. And then scap muscles. You're gonna be supporting weight overhead for a long period of time. You really wanna do anything you can, IYTs, the crossover symmetry, anything you can do to activate your scap muscles, thoracic, all of your extensor muscles of your upper back. Kill the fly. And then we finally get to skill prep. So basically after your strength work, you're gonna do some skill prep. This is just to get blood flowing and get you used to doing your double unders in some smaller sets, getting you prepped and feeling confident for the workout.
Yeah, a couple other side points. If you're really trying to crush this workout and you mess up your double unders on the first few sets, just stop and rest.
Stop, reset.
And start over. If you mess up at the end, just roll through it, take a breath, get your mind right, and continue going. You gotta have short-term memory for a movement like that. You either know if you have double unders or not, and you can't let it get to your head if you miss, okay? What the girls did tonight is they really started to race each other at the end, and they both started tripping up. So, can't sprint if they would double unders. It's gotta be smooth and steady the whole time. This is a lot like the workout with 3-bar muscle ups and the muscle snatch last year, except for it's even more conducive to a sprint. Reason being, bar muscle ups are a much higher skill movement than double unders are much more limiting. So you can go faster on this workout, but the time domain was very similar. It's also not grip intensive, so you can push the thrusters more than you can push the snatch last year because you had to worry about grip fatigue. So a little bit like last year, but a little bit faster. Okay. That pretty much covers it, guys. Other than the math, this is a very simple workout. Let's get it.
We're excited to finally finish up the opens, and we hope you guys do really well.
Absolutely.